Yo, what's up guys, AJC here, and in today's video we're going to be asking the age-old question, which is better, ankle breaker or tight handles, okay? This is the biggest debate on 2K right now, so in today's video I do some tests, we got some results, and you're about to find out which one is better between these two badges, guys, okay? So before we get into it, first off, mean the world if you could like this video. It only takes 2 seconds, and secondly, if you do want to shout it in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below on this one. Let's just make it handles, alright? Comment that down below. So I got a comment on my last video and someone said, but how's AJC's hop step IRL? My hop step is sexy. Hop step. Oh, I'm never doing that again. Alright guys, let's get straight into today's video. So to start off, we're going to talk about the differences between the two badges, because I think that's very necessary in order to understand which badge is actually better and which has a bigger effect, you know, during games like Park, Pro-Am, everything like that, okay? So ankle breakers. Ankle breakers, the definition of it, improves the likelihood of freezing or dropping the defender during dribble moves. When performing step backs or other certain moves, the defender, stumbles or falls more frequently when biting the wrong way, okay? So basically guys, snatchbacks or step backs, that is basically the main move that people do in order to activate this badge, and that's when you usually see people stumbling, falling, you know, everyone getting their highlight clips, everything like that when they're on Playmaking Takeover, okay? Now, if we move over to tight handles though, this is a bit different. Tight handles improves the player's ability to break down the defender, increases the player's ball handling ability in size-up situations, making it easier to break down the on-ball defender, okay? So, the best way I like to describe tight handles, since it is new this year, guys, not many people know that, you know, this is the first time tight handles actually being implemented into 2K, but this is more of a James Harden type badge. And what I mean by that is, guys, as you all know, James Harden likes to size up his defender, okay? Size up, size up. So in this case, guys, in 2K, size up is like Allen Iverson, maybe Kobe Bryant, those types of size up. Once you come off those moves, that is when your defender stumbles or falls or maybe even freezes, whatever you want to call it, guys. That is basically when it's going to be activated. So to put the two side by side, guys, here's a quick, you know, video on like how it looks, okay? So this is ankle breaker, okay? Now the ankle breaker badge obviously doesn't come up. It doesn't happen all the time. That's the same with tight handles and, you know, a majority of badges. But you see, guys, he slips a little bit when I do the snatchback, and that is basically the best time, you know, to create your space, maybe take a shot, or maybe go to the ring, whichever one you choose. But that is basically the time you want to be using ankle breaker, or when ankle breaker is actually being used, okay? If we move over to tight handles, however, okay, you see tight handles is very, very different. I do a between the legs cross, and when I just go one way, whether it's left or right, I went right in this situation, but whether I go right, you see the defender stalls a bit, he freezes, and then he's able to move, okay? And that is basically what this badge does, okay? He's able to freeze for a quick second. That will give you, you know, a big advantage on maybe getting ahead, going to the rim, maybe getting open. It doesn't really matter, guys, but that is the difference between these two badges, okay? So 2K Labs, okay, as we all know, 2K Labs love doing their tests. With them, with the tiers that they chose, guys, they gave tight handles an A tier badge, okay? So they gave an A tier, and they gave ankle breaker a B tier. So 2K Labs, right, they think tight handles is better than ankle breaker, okay? Very interesting. Now, I will tell you my, I guess, suggestion at the end, but for now, that is what 2K Labs given us, okay? Now, when it comes to, you know, a better description between these two, Reddit has been going crazy. I've been talking, oh, which is better, tight handles, ankle breaker, all that good stuff, and this is what someone had to say that I think is really good. He said tight handles helps you break down the defender better, aka stuns them, okay? Ankle breaker is for making them fall or stumble if they bite and go the wrong way. So he basically took the definition from a bit from 2K. I do understand that, but what he's basically trying to say, guys, is the stun and the fall and the stumble, okay? So sometimes, guys, when they fall and when they stumble, that is very rarely unlikely unless you're on takeover, especially Playmaking Takeover, okay? And that's when you see ankle breaker really taking into effect. But to stun them for a quick second, that tight handles does, that's basically kind of like your fancy footwork. That's what fancy footwork does a lot, guys. If you notice, it stuns your defender and they're not able to move for a quick second, and that is basically the same with tight handles, guys. Tight handles is like the fancy footwork for Playmaking, okay? Stuns a defender and you're able to get to the ring very effectively, okay? So this is a video of me using tight handles, and I did want to talk about the good things about, you know, this badge first, and we'll go over the ankle breakers second, okay? But ankle breakers, so like sorry, not ankle breaker, tight handles first, okay? So you see I'm using tight handles right here. Hall of Fame, you don't see it come up on all these clips, but I can tell it's definitely being taken into account. Okay, so what I found out with this badge, guys, is if you're driving to the lane, it is one of the best badges out there. Okay, there is no easier way to get to the ring than, you know, if a player is playing up, you like Tide Handles activates, you drive to the ring, they're getting stunned, and you basically got an open lane to the paint. Okay, that is really good about it. Now, secondly, as well, the good thing about this, guys, is when you're going to the ring, you don't have to go all the way. Even creating that space where you're going one way, whether it's left or right, you can always pull back, get the shot up, and go that way. Okay, so that's the good thing about this. Okay, now, is it better? Like, is it very effective? It is a bit more harder to, you know, kind of pull back and then shoot because the defender is already behind you, so you pretty much want to go all the way. It's pretty much a rin run when it's using this badge. So it's usually like, I like to use it, or I feel like it's most effective being used when you're going to the ring. Okay, when you're going completely full in the ring, trying to dunk it, everything like that, that is when Tide Handles, I can see, has the biggest effect, especially if you're very simple with the way you ISO and stuff. I know a lot of people, they know how to do like half spins to the 3-point line, all that good stuff. Yeah, okay, if you know like how to do that, then fair, but you know, the majority of people don't know how to do all these crazy ass moves. So if you're doing your simple moves and stuff, Tide Handles seems to work really, really well if your main goal is to drive to the basket and go all the way. Okay, that's what I found out between these two badges. Okay, it gives you a lot of space to work with. You got a lot of space, you know, to kind of go to the ring, and you should be sweet in that sense. Okay, now the only downside I have for this, okay, there isn't really too much downside, but the only downside that I feel, guys, is sometimes my animations can get lost. I don't know whether that's just my dribble moves or stuff, but I feel like, you know, my animations, sometimes it gives me a weird animation at times, and then it stuffs up my whole dribble moves. I don't know whether Tide Handle is being affected into it, whether, you know, it gives you a bit of better animations, anything like that, but sometimes I can't really flow that well on my ISO moves. I don't know why. Now, I don't know whether that's the badge, but I only seem to have that problem with the badge on when I didn't, when I had, versus when I had it off. Okay, so, you know, I'm not really too sure, guys. It might be a placebo, I might be going crazy, I'm not too sure, but that's one of the problems that I found with this badge, is that, yeah, I don't know, it just felt harder to, you know, string around moves sometimes. Like if I did one wrong mistake, it would just stuff up the whole thing, and I couldn't really go well from there. Okay, but as you see, guys, you know, the footage I'm showing you, see how it's easy for me to get to the ring. My build can speed boost, so I can get it on Hall of Fame, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's basically the importance of this badge right here. Okay, now, am I saying that is it only for, you know, Hall of Fame, you know, playmaking, stuff like that? No and yes. Okay, now what I mean by that is, guys, obviously if you have it on Hall of Fame, it helps out a lot, but if you do have it on gold, it may still work, but it's not as effective. Okay, it's not as effective. I would have to tell you that you know, Hall of Fame is probably when it's most effective. You'll pretty much get it almost every single time, maybe every second time that you go to the ring, your defender will get stunned. But when it comes to, you know, I guess when it comes to you know, gold or whatever, you kind of get it maybe like every 3 or 4 times maybe. Okay, I would say something along those lines if you're on gold. So that's basically the difference between the two. Now with these badges, guys, do I suggest to get them Hall of Fame? Yes, I do, if you are going to be using this certain badge. Okay, so that's Tide Handles. Now let's move over to Ankle Breaker real quick. Okay, so Ankle Breaker is a bit different. Now you see the way I play is very, very different. It's a lot of snatchbacks. Okay, so you see there, I did get blocked, and that's what I want to talk about with this badge right here. Okay, the difference between this badge, guys, I think this is better for people that are actually going to shoot off a dribble. Okay, what I mean by that is, guys, you see me here, right? When I pull back, it gives me a lot of space to shoot, but my build right here, I haven't really maxed out the shooting, anything like that. My quick draw is only like a bronze on this, so I can't really shoot really, really well. So I found out, you know, I try to go to the lane, but you see how much more difficult it is sometimes for me to get to the ring, and how close my defender is compared to when I use Tide Handles. Okay, but if I was, you know, snatch back and then shooting it, it would probably be money. Okay, so if I was a playmaking truck creator, something like that, I had good, you know, shooting badges, I think this would be goated. Okay, but unfortunately, guys, I was kind of restricted with my build, so that's kind of how it went. But as you see, guys, that is basically my biggest takeaway between these two badges. Okay, I feel Ankle Breaker works well if you're into snatchbacks and shoot, and Tide Handles works really well if you're into going to the lane completely and just dunking on them. Okay, that is the biggest difference when it comes to, you know, get rid of all the descriptions, get rid of all the analytics, everything like that. That is the biggest difference I've found between the two, and it's just really up to you which one you like better. Okay, are you more of a shooter? Are you more of a driver? It doesn't really, it's really up to you on which one works better for you, and your build. All right, like I said, my build, guys, I still use a snatchback in these clips, but you see, guys, in the clips as well, I'm also driving to the lane, and you see it looks a bit more tougher. Okay, it looks a bit like the defender is still kind of on me. I get a little bit of space, and I'm still able to go away. So that's why the first clip, guys, that I showed you was actually me getting blocked, is because if I probably had tight handles, guys, he would probably be left in the dust. I would have dunked that easily, and that's what I'm trying to get at with this badge. Okay, if you're driving to the lane with the ankle breaker badge, basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be snatch back and then going again. Okay, and that's why it kind of gives the defender a little bit of time to kind of recover. One, because you've already created distance, and two, when you're going to the lane, they're already there, so they might just move their stick left to the right, and then they'll get in front of you and be able to contest your shot, things like that. So that's the biggest difference between these two badges. Okay, now the question always asked, okay, so like, what is the better badge? Which one do you think is better? In my opinion, guys, I honestly think tight handles is better. Okay, I think tight handles is better. I know I said ankle breaker is more for shooting, but when it comes to the activation of the badge and how many times activate, if you want, rewatch the park footage, guys. I really got more animations on tight handles versus ankle breaker. Okay, ankle breaker, it's here and there, guys. It usually works a lot when you have takeover, anything like that, and it's usually an aggressive like fall or stumble. Okay, now if you just need to freeze the defender for a quick second to actually get a quick bucket, that is when tight handles is most effective, and I don't feel ankle breaker doing the same thing. Okay, so that is the question we answered in today's video, guys. I honestly think tight handles is better, so 2K Labs did get it right. So if you plan on using this badge, make sure you give it a try. It should work for you guys. You'll definitely have some fun with it, but like I said, if you do get a Hall of Fame, that's probably the best thing to get it on, because gold, it works a bit differently. Okay, it works a bit differently. It's not too many animations as much as Hall of Fame, so make sure you use that to your advantage and know that coming into it. Okay, so thank you again for watching, guys. Hope you did enjoy, but let's get to the shout outs, because I know you've been waiting for it. So quick shout out to Jerk, Ewok FTW, Aman Koshal, Wandi Mula Wangza, Sebastian F, Wavy Joshua TV, Greenlight Manny, C Stanton, Tristan the Trifecta, and Joseph Chapman for coming my last video. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all, guys. I just want to wrap up the video just by saying thank you again for watching. I hope this video did help you out, understanding better about these two badges and which one you should put on. Now, like I said, guys, give it a try first. Give ankle breaker a try, give tight handles a try, make your decision as well. But my personal opinion, guys, I think tight handles will work better for you, especially if you get it on a Hall of Fame. All right, thank you again for everything, guys. Hope you have some fun. Go get lit, and I'll see you soon. Peace.